Open the YNP5 project and Database Editor if it isn't already open. We'll add a lake and stream in this section, so let's find a spot to dig them out. Open the Plan View Preferences to the Overlay Gradient page and select Rainbow Elevation. I think this brings out low elevations better, but if nothing else, it's a colorful change. Return the plan camera to its default position. Go to the Render Task Mode, expand the Cameras category, and clone the Plan camera. Name it Plan Default. Zoom box in again on our forest vector. Undock and drag out the view. This is where a graphics card with second monitor capabilities really comes in handy. Save the project as YNP6 and render a preview. We're going to turn our winter grassland valley into a summer forest. Go to the Land Cover Task Mode and disable the Foliage Effect and Snow Effect. Open the YNP Environment to the Ecosystems page and remove the grassland ecosystem. Save the project and render a preview. We should have our pine ecosystem everywhere, but the south-facing slopes look a little short on trees. Open the pop-up menu and select Render Options, Edit Views Render Options. Go to the Miscellaneous page and check the Render from Overhead box. Save the project and render a preview. The trees are now everywhere, so switch back to a real-time view. Since we have forest everywhere now, the forest vector is no longer really needed. Let's put a lake there instead. Go to the Vector Task Mode and expand the Vectors category. Expand the Forest vector and delete the associated pine burn ecosystem. Confirm that you want to remove the ecosystem from the vector. Bring the Database Editor forward. Select the Forest vector in the Database Objects list. Click Label and rename the vector Lake. Activate the Plan view, center the view on the vector, and zoom in a little closer. Open the Vector Editor and make the vector render. Open the pop-up menu, select Render Options, Land Cover, Other Foliage to disable ecosystem foliage rendering. Save the project and render a preview. If our vector area were a little larger, it would fit around the slightly higher elevation ground we put it on. The vector is still active, so go back to the real-time view, enter Zoom or Scale mode, and enlarge the vector. Rotate the vector shape slightly counterclockwise. Move it a little south. Lakes are a two-step process. You dig out a lake bed with an area terrafector, and you add water with a lake. Go to the Terrain Task Mode. Like several components so far, we could use the Create button to create a new vector area terrafector combination. We already have the vector, so add component of this type and name it Lake. Expand the Area Terrafectors category. Move down the lower Seen at a Glance list and expand the Vectors category. Click and drag the Lake vector up and drop it on the Lake Area Terrafector. Confirm the operation. Go to the Elevation and Roughness page. An area tear effector will raise or lower the terrain depending on the elevation and whether it's relative to ground or an absolute value. Leave our lake relative and make the elevation minus 50 meters to dig a hole 50 meters below the terrain. Save the project and render a preview. This is the same resolution problem we had with the vector-bounded ecosystem. Bring the area tear effector editor forward and reset the resolution floating box. Save the project and render another preview. Looks good, so dock the plan view and switch back to real-time mode. We don't need the vector for reference anymore, so bring the vector editor up and deselect the render option.